Hey everybody, what is going on? It is your girl Nay Songs, and I'm back again with another live video. So today's video is going to be really short. I had a question to ask everybody. Do you guys think April Mason is wrong? Huh. Let's think about that. Alrighty, trophies. How are you ladies doing today? Before I get started, I gotta check in with my girls. How are you ladies doing today? Let me go ahead and make sure that my audio is running good because every time I get on YouTube, my audio is just doing one thing when it should be doing another thing. So let's see what's going on here. Let me just make sure my audio's good. When it should be doing another thing. All right, perfect. It sounds like my audio is good. Okay, perfect. Y'all, I just got off of work. I worked like a 15-hour shift today. I still have energy at 1 o'clock in the morning to get on live and just to discuss some things here. I did want to go ahead and speak about April Mason, who is a quote unquote femininity coach. She came into the space trying to help women find, I think she was a matchmaker. Sorry, I'm getting tongue tied all the time. So I believe she was a matchmaker at some point. She did go ahead and flip the script on everybody. And she tried to join the manosphere, but she failed miserably. She failed miserably trying to enter into the manosphere. They denied her because her intentions weren't genuine. And I do feel as though listen, if you guys are gonna go ahead and come into the chat, please like the video once you come in. Like the video. If you're watching this on a replay, if you have any additional thoughts on the topic, please comment down below. I would really appreciate that. So I did want to go ahead and speak about April Mason. As I was saying before, she was in the space before, and I really liked how she looked. However, her talking points before she even tried to throw Black women under the bus with her post that she made recently, before she tried to throw Black women under the bus, I didn't really care too much about her. I'm gonna be honest. I try to listen to her. Videos to get a feel of how she is, and she is a quote unquote femininity coach. And her story is similar to many Black women's story. I feel as though, to be a femininity coach, you have to be someone who literally gives very innovative ideas. You can't be someone who's literally living in an echo chamber in an ecosystem and you're just regurgitating talking points that everybody else has made before. So with April Mason, obviously at this moment, she doesn't have really any allies. The women aren't feeling her, the men aren't feeling her. And, she hadn't posted on her YouTube account for over a year. I honestly forgot about her. But she did come out with a wham bam when she, wrote her little status when it comes to Black women and what she feels as though the reasons why she's quitting her femininity coaching. She did make a long, very, very long post about why she's quitting after 10 years. I did want to go ahead and share that with you guys, and I'll read it out to you guys as well. I'm sure you guys have heard it before, and I'm not going to sit here and act like, April Mason didn't have points when she made her post. However, it's just very I feel as though the quickest way to get money in this space right now is obviously dissing Black women. If you're a Black woman and you're dissing other Black women, then shame on you, especially if you have similar stories to many Black women. It's not like you're any better than anybody. It's not like you are doing better or bringing anything better to the space. So obviously, April Mason was called out for being a money grabber. She was just in the space trying to transition over to the manosphere by making these allegations against Black women. So I wanted to go ahead and share this here. Obviously, a lot of you ladies probably already seen it, probably already heard it 1,000 times, but I wanted to go ahead and include it on today's show. Obviously, I found this off of Google. All you got to do these days is just Google's people's name and everything just pops up. Don't you love the internet? Alrighty, so I'm not sure if you guys can see on a wide scale. It is showing, just it's crazy because I just Googled April Mason. I just Googled her name, and literally the post that she made here is in her images. So what she said about Black women is going to follow her along for a long time. And this is something that's just unforgivable. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go into what she said here, why she quit the femininity sector, why she quit being a femininity coach. Obviously, let's go ahead and get into it. So this is what she said. After 10 plus years of helping women in this area, it's time to move on. I've had dozens of success stories from women who are now married, engaged, and dating high caliber men. My track record speaks for itself. However, the majority that come to me have unrealistic expectations. So this is the key word, you guys, the majority. The majority that come to me have unrealistic expectations, the selfishness, fake everything, think they should be chosen because they have a vagina and good looks and entitlement, just mean, not knowing the difference between a woman and a wise woman, and will fight you to be strong, not knowing how to be versus do, thinking being a feminine woman is weak or pick me, whatever that is, placing the blame and not taking accountability for the choices they made in men, being disagreeable, defensive, argumentative about everything, always finding something to nitpick about, looking for perfection. If mentioned anything about doing something kind to a man they choose, it's the what is he going to do for me? And the list goes on. Alrighty, so obviously this is what she had to say about Black women. This was her 2 cents of why she decided to quit the sector of being a femininity coach. Obviously, you guys, I've been around YouTube for a minute. I stroll the streets because I love to see what's going on. I love to see what's the new topic. I love to see, what are we discussing today? I wake up looking forward to it. So when, April Mason was on everybody's lips regarding what she had said, I already saw through it before, before the manosphere even gave her a chance to represent herself to their platform or to them. I already knew April Mason was already not a good femininity coach just from what she posts online. Basically, what led me to this conclusion is a simple fact that April Mason has the story of many Black women. She is not better than anybody, not by any means. I did tune into her channel for a brief moment in time, and I do remember there was a time where she was giving a rundown of her story, and she did mention how she had a man who was an orbiter in her life. This man, if you guys know the term orbiter, basically orbiter is a man who's always kind of in your life. He always gives you the green light that he wants to be with you, but you never take the opportunity. So that's what an orbiter is. Basically, the equivalent to an orbiter, if this guy's following you on Instagram, he's the guy that's always posting heart emojis and heart eyes emojis every time you post a picture. However, you don't even have to respond. Anytime you post a picture, he's going to be writing hard eyed emojis and just giving you validation. So she had an orbiter for years, and she ended up marrying another guy. She had 3 kids with this guy, and her and this guy ended up breaking up. I guess her husband, they ended up breaking up for whatever reason. She filed divorce. And basically, after the divorce, she had nothing. She had to go to a homeless shelter with her children. And who was the one that picked her up on her feet? It was the orbiter. It was the guy that was always there for years before she had children, before she was married, after she was divorced. He was always there. And she used this guy in order to have a come up. She admitted on video that she was in a desperate situation and this guy was available, as he was always available. And she decided to go ahead and take his advances finally once she was in like rock bottom, right? So for me, that just displayed that April Mason doesn't know how to choose a man. She had this guy that was always there, always ready to be with her. However, she ended up choosing the wrong man, quote unquote. So from there, it really turned me off that she made that video. Even when she went to the Rick Ross, when she went to the Rick Ross convention and she paid $2,500 to get into the door, she went on the lead's attorney's live, and she went on his panel, and she was expressing how $1,500 got her into the door. And she said that $1,500 kept her, no, she said her femininity kept her in the door. And that's when I knew that April Mason was just not the one. She just comes off to me as someone who is disingenuous. And that's what everybody was saying. Even before, as soon as she came out with this post, saying that majority of Black women have unrealistic expectations. When I tell you guys, the bar that Black women have in our dating preferences are so low. All we want is a man that's not going to cheat on us, that's going to treat us right, that's going to take care of kids and pay bills. What is so hard about that? What is so unrealistic about a man having the basics? Hold on, guys. Someone's calling me. Hello? No, I'm actually off of work. Is it okay if I call you back in a little bit? Huh? I'm not sure. I'm in the middle of something. All right, I'll call you back in a little bit. Okay, bye. Sorry about that, you guys. Alrighty, so I forget what I was saying about April Mason. I forget. However, let's see here. Oh yeah, I was talking about the Rick Ross convention, and I did see like her picture. I don't know if I follow her on Instagram, but I did see like Rick Ross kissing her on the cheek or something like that. And she said that, $1,500 got her into the door, and then her femininity kept her in the door. My thing is, girl, you paid your $1,500 to get into the door. It's not like they were going to kick you out if you was a lesbian. Come on now. And my thing was, how many numbers did you acquire when you were there? When you were there around all these boss men, how many numbers did you acquire? That's what we really want to know. We don't care if you are in the door with these guys. We appreciate that you're around these guys so that you can come back and tell us what's going on. But it's like you don't. She didn't never. To me, she really never had any actual advice towards women, and that led me to believe that the reason why April Mason actually did quit her femininity coaching is because she's actually in competition with her clients. She's in competition with the people that she's helping. She's also a single woman. She's also a single mother. She's also a divorcee. She's looking for a husband, right? So helping women when you can't help yourself, it's kind of working backwards, isn't it? So I feel as though instead of her being actually genuine and saying, hey, I'm going to put my femininity business on pause right now because I'm actually looking for a husband for myself. And I just want to be free. I just want to be able to do me without having the responsibility of helping all of these women. I feel as though that would have been so much more genuine and so much more honest. However, she came in back into the YouTube thing thinking that she was better than somebody, thinking that she was better than women, like she's thinking that she was better than black women. Oh my God, this woman is 50 years old with a stripper pole in her bedroom and she's single. And she has grandchildren. Any woman who has two brain cells can see that this woman, April Mason, is so wrong in her approach in trying to get into the whatever she was trying to get into. I don't know. Obviously, she's here to make money. Everybody here, we have ideas. Everybody here, we would like to express our ideas. And if our ideas and our philosophies get us a check, get us money, then we're here for it. But I feel as though if you're going to be doing something as far as like a femininity training, I feel as though you should be doing it from your heart. You should be doing it with love. You should be doing it with actual care. You shouldn't be doing it with jadedness. That's where you lead people astray. That's where you lead people to designations where they don't need to be. April Mason attacking black women when she first came out this year. Literally, it's been a year since she's posted a YouTube video. She recently posted a YouTube video talking about what do women bring to the table? Why are you continuously answering questions that don't need to be answered? Every woman knows that if a woman wants to captivate a man of means, she has to be interesting. She has to be funny. She has to be likable. She has to be refined. Everybody knows that. Obviously, it's not about cleaning and cooking and sweeping and mopping and washing dishes. Personality is everything. And I feel as though if you know people, you know that. When you're a people person, that's all you want to get to. You want to get to the good parts of people. You don't want to sit there and trauma bond with people. You don't want to sit there and talk about past hurts and past neglects and past this and past that. You really want to get to the good, gooey, yummy part of people. That's just in a woman's nature. So I feel as though April Mason, she did have a chance at, selling her book. I feel as though, honestly, I feel as though her book is going to flop because a lot of women aren't even talking about April Mason. It's mostly the men who are dragging her for filth. And I feel as though it's sad that it's happening, but I feel as though something that's super necessary because how the hell are you going to come for black women when you ain't better than nobody in this space? You ain't better than anybody, sis. You thought. So let's see here. Do I feel as though um, April Mason had valid points when she came out originally this year, talking about black women have unrealistic expectations? Of course not. I feel like black women standards are so basic. They're so basic, and these men are just not willing to meet those standards. They're just not. Women's expectations are so basic. the selfishness, the selfishness. Let's go for selfishness, because I'm somebody, since I was a kid, my dad always told me I was selfish. My dad would purchase me a meal at Raising Cane's and I wouldn't offer him anything. But, he would buy me food to eat and I would be like, he would like call me selfish if I didn't offer him any food. But my thing was, why don't you buy your own self food? You bought me food at Raising Cane's. We ordered in the drive-through. Why can't you buy yourself a why can't you buy yourself an 8-piece, some crunchy fries, and some Raisin Cane sauce? Why are you attacking me because I haven't offered you any of my food that you bought me? That's something I had to go through, dealing with some type of level of selfishness that my dad told me that I had. Also, I understand, like, with the selfishness, I do feel as though women, there is some feminine traits that we have to obtain. Obviously, feminine women, we're nurturing by nature. We want to care for people, we want to give to people. I feel as though, oh my God, Black women are the most giving people that I've ever met. I remember I had a neighbor who was an extreme couponist. She was an extreme couponer, and she would literally knock on my aunt's door and literally offer us food, offer us everything that she had: makeup, deodorant, detergent, soap, everything that she couponed. She would literally come to our door and just give it to us for nothing. Black women are the most giving. Being the fact that there's guys that are out here who are homosexuals, they get online and they give men tips on how to move into a woman's home. Homosexuals, these men are only able to do so because Black women are so giving. Black women are so giving. So I feel as though Black men need to really address the shortness. Black men are really not living up to the standard in general. Whether it's Kevin Samuels or anybody under him, or if it's your father or your uncles, I feel as though there's some men who are really not living up to the full potential of their manhood. Okay. So selfishness, we're gonna dismiss that. Fake everything. Okay, women, obviously, we have to address the fake everything. I guess she was referring to eyelashes, makeup, weave, nail polish. I don't know what she was referring to when she said fake everything, because these women are getting real money. These women are supporting themselves. These women have real apartments, real homes, real businesses, but a hairstyle, eyelashes, is that really getting in the way? Is that really getting in the way of a woman pairing with a man? Having a wig? We live in a white society. Black women have to assimilate to society in order for her to continue to advance. There was a long time in society where it was actually illegal for women to wear their real hair. It was illegal for Black women to wear their real hair in public. Hence why bonnets are still a thing till this day. Women had to wear turbans. Women had to literally cover their hair in public because white men were so attracted to Black women and were fancied by our hair, by our looks, by our body type. So the white women made sure that these white men passed laws in order for Black women to not wear their real hair. Listen, I've been on an actual plantation in Louisiana where we went through the history of Black people. And when I tell you, it was so sad to know that it was illegal at a point in time for Black women to wear their real hair. So fake everything, what are you referring to? Women, listen, y'all know I love me some Michelle Obama, but Michelle Obama definitely wears clip-ins. Like, come on, Michelle Obama wears makeup. Michelle Obama has nail polish on her nails. What's fake about enhancing your beauty a little bit? What's fake about that? Just because April Mason walks around with a 27 piece that she thinks she could pull off as her real hair, girl, stop it. So let's go ahead and continue. They should be chosen because they have a vagina. So Black women think they should be chosen because they have a vagina. Black women wouldn't share. Black women, I'm sorry. Black women feel like they should be chosen because they have a vagina. Let's go ahead and marinate on this. Black women think they should be chosen because they have a vagina. Why else would a man be attracted to a woman? Why else? If that man is heterosexual, why else would he be attracted to that woman? Isn't it because she has a vagina? It's not because she's a man. But I'm trying to understand where she's going with this. But it's like everything that she listed on her post can be debunked. Her post was so ugly. It was not genuine at all. Obviously, everybody was able to catch on to that. But let's go ahead and continue. Good looks. Okay, obviously, good looks attract a lot of men. But I do understand where she's coming from when she said, a lot of women do have the I'm the prize syndrome, which I had for a while, where I feel as though because I'm a good looking woman, I have a poom poom, I feel as though a man should get on his knees and propose. I felt that way as well. I feel as though he should give me all his money and take care of me because I'm pretty. I'm pretty and I got a poom poom and that poom poom worked real good. But, I do understand where she's coming from that. Obviously, there's more traits that a woman has to have. So let's go ahead and continue. We're gonna go ahead and dismiss that. The entitlement. Oh gosh, the entitlement. The entitlement that Black women have. Oh my God, we're so entitled because we want a man that's going to protect and provide. We are so entitled. Women, Black women, shame on you because you want a man that's going to provide for you. Shame on you. Shame on you because you want a man that's going to look after you as well as the children that he makes with you. Shame on him because you are so entitled. You shouldn't want anything in this world. You shouldn't want for nothing. You shouldn't want anything. You shouldn't have any standards at all. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. So let's go ahead and continue. Not knowing the difference between a woman and a wise woman. Um, from her post, this is the only thing that I felt as though was actually notable. Knowing the difference between a woman and a wise woman. Obviously, a wise woman comes from maturity, comes from life experience, comes from going through things and learning from your mistakes. That's the only way wisdom can be acquired. Obviously, there's some women who are 40 years old who still haven't gotten it. Yes, there are. There are plenty of women who are late in age who still haven't understand that you have to leave the pookies, quote unquote pookies and ray rays alone if you want to live a decent life. Thank God I had a father who did always teach me the correct way. And you know what? All of these things that April Mason is attacking, I feel attacking about Black women, I feel as though the reason why a lot of women do have these things that are lacking in them, that are looked at as negatives, is because the father wasn't around. Thank goodness my father was always around. Thank goodness I had a father that was always teaching me better. Thank goodness my father never abandoned me. However, I feel as though these life lessons that these femininity coaches, I'm not even going to say femininity coach, I'm going to say April Mason. These life lessons that April Mason is trying to teach are basically lessons that fathers should have taught daughters. I remember growing up, my dad hated when I wore different color hair. He hated when I wear purple, blue, green, pink, any like crazy color hair. He didn't like it. My dad had strict rules. He told me I could only wear black and brown hair in his home. That's it. So till this day, I just wear black and brown hair. My dad told me that, don't ever get tattoos. So till this day, I've never gotten tattoos. My dad also told me that you should always pair yourself with a man that you know will take care of you and provide for you. So these are lessons that my father taught me. Not just my father, but my uncle as well my uncle was always there. My uncle, obviously, that's my dad's brother. And he taught me better. He said, listen, you should never be with a man that cannot take care of you. My uncle told me your man should be paying all your bills. This is what my uncle taught me. So for April Mason to come and say Black women have high expectations, unrealistic expectations, that's like a slap in the face and saying that the bare minimum is too much to ask for. I just hope, man, I just feel as though April Mason does have deep rooted issues that need to be addressed. April Mason does need to go to therapy herself. And she wants to find a husband desperately. That's why she was even trying to enter into the manosphere, because obviously the manosphere, they pay well, right? Anybody that has their talking points, they will subscribe, they will pay, they will send super chats, they will send cash apps, they will send PayPals, they'll even send you a birthday gift and a Christmas gift. However, these are men, and there's a plethora of women who are damaged because they didn't receive the love and care that their father was supposed to provide for them. I feel as though a lot of Black issues, they're very small. To me, a lot of reasons why women are getting attacked, from men, it's not because these women are bad women. It's because they didn't have a father in their life teaching them. It was, oh my God, it was so profound to me today. I listened to a video, and literally it was this white man who was talking, and black he literally said that sometimes a man has to teach a woman how to be feminine. Sometimes you have to teach your wife how to be submissive. Femininity comes from a man. A man has to step 10 toes down in his masculinity in order to see feminine qualities in a woman. A man. But if a man was absolutely absent in a person's life, how will a person know what that should lead to? How should a person know what masculinity even looks like? Even like single women, that have children, aka single mothers, you will see a single mother be mean, be nasty, have all these horrible traits, have no discipline, right? She's not disciplining her kids. She let her kids stay up till 12 o'clock at night on a school night. She won't make sure her kids have every single meal. I can't relate to that. I'm just guessing because in my household, my family was very strict. My family are people that live with principle. So I never went hungry. I never went without clothes. I never went without masculine man in my presence. So I'm just guessing off of what I hear, you know. But a lot of I forget where I was going with this. I forget what my point was. Can someone remind me? Oh, but yes, so with femininity, in order for a woman, a single mother to be her best feminine self, she has to have a masculine counterpart. There's no way she can do it by herself. There's no way she can work, pay bills, manage children, help with homework, be nice, give discipline, in all of that, all of these areas. There's no way she can cover every area without something being compromised. And the biggest thing that's compromised is her femininity. A lot of women watch their mother struggle. A lot of people watch their mothers struggle and have to play both roles for the mother and the father. But I can say the most important factor is the father. So she had to play the father role more than the mother role. That's why a lot of people have mommy issues. A lot of things are imbalanced in the Black community because the father is just not present. We need to be honest. Stop blaming women on why men are lacking in their area. Stop blaming the lack of femininity on women when there's obviously a lack of masculinity. There's obviously a lack of masculinity. You cannot have one without the other. You need both in order to have a healthy home, in order to properly raise children that don't grow up and become an April Mason or don't grow up and become a modern, quote unquote, modern woman. I honestly have nothing against modern women. I love Michelle Obama. I feel as though Michelle Obama is a perfect example of a modern woman who also has traditional values. My, Michelle Obama did not just sit back at home waiting on Barack Obama, to take care of everything. Michelle Obama was also a lawyer. She was an attorney for many years. And together, her and Barack built a legacy together all the way up until Barack became the president of the United States. But Barack played his role as a man in her life. Barack and Michelle, they've been together since they were teenagers. Her feminine energy is oozing. But what I love about Michelle, she's also a smart, intelligent, sharp, thorough woman. She's also a very thorough woman. There's no way that Michelle could have been who she was if she didn't have Obama, if she didn't have Barack, just the same way, and vice versa. Barack couldn't be who he was if he didn't have Michelle. These two parties work together so well in order to move families forward, move the Black family forward. So someone in the chat said women destroy each other's femininity. I feel as though it depends. This statement can be true depending on the environment. If there's a group of married women, there's five women, well, there's five wives and five husbands. They're all paired up, coupled up. These women will actually be in competition to out feminine each other. That's what builds communities. Feminine energy builds communities. Feminine energy is what builds society. What men do, men go out and they work, they actually physically build society. They build buildings, they make pipelines in order to have running water. They make sure that the electricity is working well. They run government, they do politicians, they take care of accounting, they take care of financing. This is what men do. Men go out into the world and make sure that the community is running well. But women, we make sure that the community sticks together. Women literally hold each other like, how could I explain this? Women come together, men do it too when they work in their professions, but at the home life, women hold families together. At the top of every family, the hierarchy of every family is always the grandmother. The grandmother, everybody goes to the grandmother for everything, for recipes, for advice, for cuddles, for kisses, for love. I can't remember the last time people went to a grandfather for love. He obviously, grandfathers play a role as well. They give advice, but the grandfather played his role. He built the society. It's his time to relax. But the women, we're always on our job. We hold families together. Have you ever noticed when a grandmother dies or passes away, the family's never the same? There needs to be a new queen bee in charge. We have a queen bee mentality. Like families need a queen bee in every family. There has to be a top woman in every family. There needs to be hierarchy. Obviously, grandfathers matter, but everybody always go to grandma for her tender, loving, nurturing care, her love. Grandmothers have the sweetest love out there. Grandma will cook you a meal from scratch. She'll cook you your favorite dish. She'll send you money on holidays. When she comes in town, all she wants to do is hug on you and kiss on you and love up on you. I don't know about these new generation grandmothers. I don't know about these new generation grandmothers. I don't know, but the traditional grandmothers, they were always the hierarchy. Feminine energy keeps families together. Feminine energy keeps society together. So I agree, there are some things that women need to work on as far as communication skills, as far as not being mean to each other, being nice, playing nice. You will see couples, literally women, try to out feminine each other. You'll see women trying to out feminine each other all the time. It's always a secret competition. They was like, okay, if you can't cook, you getting roasted. Especially in Haitian communities, if a woman doesn't know how to cook, it's like it's a shame. It's a shame. Everybody gets to shaking their head. Everybody gets to scratching their head. Nobody wants to go come around her house. It's a thing. Food is so important. Women are responsible for feeding this whole community. Women are responsible. Why is society so broken? Society is broken because women have too much on their plates. Women are trying to fulfill the shoes of a man as well as a woman. There's no way, something has to be compromised. Society is broken because men are not stepping up to the plate and playing their rightful position. Men are meant to bond themselves and pair themselves to one woman. Once you have your children with this woman, you raise those kids. You maintain your masculine frame. You go to work, you make the money, you bring it home so that those kids could live a better tomorrow. Do your job as a man. Stay in the home. Take care of your family. 75% of Black women are single mothers. That means 75% of fathers, Black fathers, are cowards. What's wrong with them? Why aren't they in the home? I mean, besides Black men killing each other in the streets like dogs, besides rap music influencing a lot of these Black men to commit homicide, to have self hate, these men are not living up to their potential. These men are being dragged down the route of lust because they cannot control their penises. Women are out here doing everything. A woman could be a single mother, 5 children, 5 baby daddies. But guess what? Who's going to be stuck with these children? She is. Not the man. Every single one of those guys are going to go on to live their best life. They're going to go on, leave these kids behind, and they're going to go off to do whatever they want to do, whether they're going to go move on to another family or do whatever. I don't know what incapable and incompetent Black men do, because my dad was a great guy. My dad was a great guy. So I don't know what incompetent men do, because every man in my family stood there for their children. Every man in my family, oh my God, these guys in my family, I'm not going to say that they're perfect, but I was never touched as a child. I was never raped as a child. I was never sexually assaulted as a child, because I had family that didn't participate in that nonsense. Children were children. Children stayed in a child's place. The grown-ups handled their issues together, man and woman and man together. I never saw my mom just being single. Now my mom is single. Now that she's older, my mom is single. But me growing up in the house with her, she was never single. She had my stepdad. She was with him forever. And he taught me, literally would go to work every day to make a living for his family. My father as well worked every day to make a living for me. I never needed for anything. So this is why, another reason why, you guys know I have a background of being Haitian. I'm Haitian. My parents come from a third world country. They know what the struggle looks like. The issues that Americans have in this country are so minuscule. The issues that the American Black people have in this country are so minuscule. All they had to do was literally think. All you have to do is think, and your problems are going to be solved. Literally, you don't have to think deep. Just think. Think long term. Think for longevity. Is your mom single because her husband died? No, my mom is single for other reasons that I'm going to choose not to disclose, because it's none of your business. At the end of the day, I had great examples of fathers growing up. I would never say anything to diminish that. But there's some people out there in the world don't even know who their dad is. Their dad never came around. Their dad made promises and said, hey, I'm going to pick you up at 3 o'clock. We're going to go to the park. And when 3 o'clock came, their dad never showed up. I never had those issues growing up. If my dad said he was going to come get me, he came and got me. So there's so many, like, this is why women aren't so trusting of, this is why I feel as though Black women aren't very trusting of Black men. This is why Black women aren't really wanting to be feminine to Black men, because they have serious trust issues starting with their father. And this is also why Black men in reverse are having this diabolical thought process of thinking, oh, well, I will never get married because all she's going to do is take half my money. However, however, the only reason why you choose to stay single is because you don't know how to be a man. You don't know how to lead properly. And you're scared. You're scared out of your pants. You're terrified. You don't know, like a lot of Black men, African American Black men don't know what it's like to be a real man. I was watching this video of this guy getting beat up by his baby mama in front of his child at that. It was so sad. But I was just watching this man, how he behaved. And I'm like, yo, this guy is so childish. He's so immature. Like, I see why his baby mama's beating up on him, because he's an idiot. How could you lead a family when you have two brain cells? How could you lead a family when you don't thoroughly think about solutions? You're not solution based. A lot of these Black men in these spaces, all they do is complain every day, all day. From what I know, men are solution based. They're not quitters. They're not quitters. A lot of Black men are quitters. They will quit on a family. They'll quit on a woman. They'll quit on their Black women. They'll quit at a job. They'll quit all the time. They just quit. My family, where I came from, they know how to roll with the punches. However, this Black man that was getting beat up by his baby mama, just his disposition, I'm just like, this is a weak man. This is a weak, very, very weak man. I can tell that this woman is the one who has to bear the brunt of the responsibility of taking care of the family dynamic. It's putting too much stress on her. Now she feels as though she has an extra child, this grown man. He literally went on an interview saying that he got it out the mud. He was at rallies or Checkers. He was working at Checkers, right? He was a fry cook at Checkers, and he was selling weed, selling drugs out of Checkers. This is a baby daddy that was getting beat up on by a woman, and I can see why. He's an absolute idiot. He's an idiot. A lot of Black women do not trust the judgment of Black men. You just have to be honest. And just because I necessarily don't relate to what these women are going through, I'm still in the dating market as well. I see what's going on. I see that I'm from a different culture. I see that the Black African American Black men are incompetent. When I was in high school, I went to high school in Louisiana, New Orleans, where it's predominantly Black people. 75% of the school population was African American people. I could not relate to any one of those guys. I dated the most popular guy in school because I had this femininity. I was funny. I was playful. He was drawn to me. But when I needed him to be emotionally available, he wasn't able to do that. I felt alone in that relationship. And I was in the most popular guy in school. He was like the second tallest guy in school. He was the funniest guy in school. He had so much popularity. However, I couldn't stay with him long term because he was not emotionally available. And he, even in high school, guys were providing for me. I remember he bought me a phone. He bought me a cell phone in high school. Not that I needed it because my dad had already bought me a phone. My dad had bought me a phone. He bought me a BlackBerry. And then my dad would have this thing where he would punish me if I didn't listen to him, if I didn't follow his rules. For whatever reason, my dad would punish me and he would take my phone away. So my little African American boyfriend, he came and I told him that I didn't have a phone. So he literally gave me a phone. In high school, I had guys providing for me. However, this guy, I fell so deeply in love with this guy. And I just loved him so much. And I think it's because he was my first love. And but he just wasn't emotionally available. Like it was so sad that I couldn't be vulnerable with him. He listened to the things that I had to say. If I said something directly, hey, I need this and that. I remember he gave me money to get my nails done. I was in high school, literally the 10th grade. Guys giving me money. But he was emotionally available, and that made me very sad. It made me feel like something was deeply missing because I'm used to my father who's able to open up and tell me things. I'm used to my uncle who's used to opening up and tell me things. I'm used to men in my family being open up and just tell me things. If they're frustrated with me, angry with me, they would sit there and explain to me what's going on and how they felt. But with him, like he would have this passive, very passive aggressiveness about him. And it scared me, honestly. It scared me because I'm like, I don't think, I don't think this is gonna work out. So me and him didn't last long. And I ended up dating this Hispanic guy, and that was the longest relationship that I've had up to date. I was with him for 3 years. We had a great relationship. He was a family guy. He was everything that I needed. He was emotionally available, emotionally present. He was very romantic. He spoiled me with gifts. He bought me Jordans. This was in high school, y'all. He bought me Jordans. He bought me weave. Like there's nothing I couldn't ask him for. He would do everything for me. And he was close to his family. When he introduced me to the family, they took me in as their own. This is what I mean by emotionally available. Very romantic guy. I like romantic guys. I really like romantic guys. That's just me. I love a man that can write me a love letter and tell me how much he loves me and, you know, text me in the morning, a long text message explaining all of his feelings and how he adores me. And this is what I like. This is what I say when I say the other guy wasn't emotionally unavailable. He was not romantic, but the guy I was with for 3 years was very romantic. Towards the end of our relationship, he got me a ring. I thought it was I thought he was gonna propose. Like I almost crapped my pants because I thought he was gonna propose. Like literally, I had a gut wrenching feeling in my stomach when he pulled out this little box, this little black box, and he opened it up and it was a ring. But he did ended up telling me it was a promise ring, promise for us to get married in the future. Due to other reasons, we didn't make it to a marriage. But I still care about him to this day. We still care about each other immensely, but we just couldn't make it work. Um, However, moving forward, there was no way I was going to be able to find such a love in my life if I didn't have a father who taught me how to be loved and how to receive love. If I never would have had a father that taught me how to receive love from a man, I would have never been with that guy for 3 years. And I would have never been able to recognize that the guy that was emotionally unavailable, even though he gave me stuff, but he was emotionally unavailable. It wasn't healthy for me because I wasn't used to that. I couldn't stay with him. But the guy that gave me that emotional factor, he was emotionally present. If I cried, he cried. If I was upset, he wanted to know why. He tried to make it work. He was solution oriented. He was solution oriented. So for me, that's what I needed in a man. I needed a man that was solution oriented, just like my dad. So when I say all of this to say that a woman could only truly be feminine if the men are masculine in her life. There's no way that a woman could be a true feminine woman without the presence of masculinity. If masculine energy is missing, this woman has no other choice but to step into her masculine and make sure that things get handled, that things get accomplished, that things get done. So I would love for people to understand that you need to stop blaming Black women for the lack of femininity. I do not blame these women. These women had to figure it out from zero to now. They had to figure it out because their father was missing. Every guy they dated was trash. They didn't know what guys to pick because their father was missing. Their father was missing. Your father is the foundation. So my father gave me every tool that I needed in order to pick the right guy. My dad told me, don't pick no guy with dreads. My father explained to me so many things about men and what they should look like. If a woman didn't have a father in her life, I blame it on generational curses. It's you guys is it's the current men of today that can change the generation for tomorrow. It's in your hands, man. It's in your hands. You have to step up. You have to want to marry a woman. And you have to want to be monogamous. You have to want to make things work with your wife. You have to be emotionally available. You have to be romantic. You just have to be. There's no way that you're a man and you have this woman who's oozing with femininity and you're neglecting her or you're abandoning her and then you expect her to not be damaged and not to carry over that jaded feeling over onto her kids. This is what produces generations to come. So I would really appreciate for women to actually address and men to actually address the actual issue. It's not that women are single, it's that men are running away and running away from their responsibilities. That's the main problem. These men are running away from their responsibilities. Once these men step into their position, step into their role, start proposing to these women, get on one knee, commit your life to a woman, have your children with this woman, and you guys raise your kids in the household. This woman will make sure that you will want for nothing. That woman will make sure that the kids are happy. That woman will make sure that you're happy. That woman will make sure that her coworkers are happy, her neighbors are happy. This woman will be a shining light in your life. And if you're a simple-minded guy, you will never understand. If you're an immature guy, you will never understand. Like I said, I had a father in my life. I would not be the woman I am today if it wasn't for my father. If it wasn't for my father, I would be tatted up. I would have so many piercings. I would have nose piercings, cheek piercings, titty piercings, booty piercings. I'd have all type of piercings and tattoos, and I would be running after the guys who ain't got nothing going on in life. But my dad showed me what a man looks like. My dad showed me what a man looks like. My dad is married today. My dad is actually married. My dad remarried, and the current wife that he has, they have no children together. They have no children together, but my dad still decided to be a man and marry and take care of a woman. So if you don't know the benefits of marriage, then you will never know what a legacy looks like. You will never know what a legacy looks like. Every Sunday I go to church with my father and his wife. Every Sunday, you should see how she lights up in the church. My dad's wife is like an ornament on a Christmas tree. She's just so happy with my father. She's so happy, and I'm happy for her, and I'm happy that my dad could make someone happy. Not just me, but the women in his life. He makes sure that we're stable. What benefits is marriage to a man? Like I said before, if you don't understand what position a marriage plays in your life as a man, I'm not the person to teach you that. You need to go to your father and ask him, your actual father. Do you know your father? Is he married currently? You need to go to your father and ask your father why marriage is important. You need to see how your father's life turned out, whether he's married or not. Look at how your father's life turned out. Do you want your life to reflect that? Then you answer yourself. Answer yourself, is marriage worth it? I'm not going to answer your question because it's not a question for me to answer. You men need to answer your own questions. You need to be solution oriented. I am not anybody to you. I'm just a woman online that you're listening to. I'm not your wife. I'm not your mother. I'm not your girlfriend. And I'm not your father. I cannot tell you what marriage brings to you as a man. You personally, as a man, I cannot tell you that. I can't answer that for you. You need to find that answer deep within your gut, deep within your grinds, your grinds, your grinds, your goings, your loins. You need to find it deep within. So I'm speaking on something that I can't answer because a lot of questions are better unanswered. A lot of questions that are asked, especially in the manosphere, will go better unanswered than answered. I'm not Google. You need to look up yourself what you need to have to be equipped to even be a husband. You don't even know what it takes to be a husband, and you're asking, how is a marriage going to benefit you? You need to be asking yourself, how are you going to benefit a marriage? How are you going to benefit your legacy? Put yourself in a position where You think about the solutions more than you think about problems. That's the problem that I'm having with people in the manosphere. You guys complain too much. You complain too much. You have too much estrogen in your system. And it's, oh my God, I just get turned off. I just could never date people like that. Personally, it just repels me as a woman. It just repels me when I'm discussing things with a man or I'm having a conversation with a man and he's not already 10 steps ahead of me. He shouldn't be sitting there asking me redundant questions. It makes me feel as though I'm better than you. And this is why a lot of women don't want to submit, because a lot of women feel like we're better than these guys. We're more educated. We make more money. We have better social skills. We're not out here killing each other. We know how to get along. But these men are not playing their position. They're not playing their roles, and they don't even know where their role starts from step one. They don't know how to even play their position starting at step one. They don't even know what a man looks like. These men of today look up to people like Future, the rapper. It's sad and it's pathetic. You guys put the baby on a pedestal. You guys give so much celebrity power to people who are destroying your own community. That will never happen in the Haitian community. As soon as someone comes out with garbage, they will get canceled. They will get shunned. They will get shamed. If you're not here to put in some actual results in this space, in this community, you don't need to be here. You're an outcast. If all you're going to do is sit around and complain, you are going to be outcasted, or you're going to be living in poverty. A lot of you men hold on to poverty mindsets. That's why you guys will not be able to move on to the next level in life. You have a very small mindset. Your mindset is tiny. It's like the size of a grain of rice. How do you expect to lead a family when all you do is think about problems? How do you expect to lead a family when all you think about is problems, and then you just complain about the issues instead of being a man and handling it? Just handle it. Just handle it. Be a man. But I'm not here to rant and ramble and go off on you men. It's just, to me, for me, I do understand that women aren't perfect, and I will never position women as though we're perfect. There are a lot of women who do need to be worked on. However, there would be a lot of issues that are relinquished and extinguished if men actually played their role and played their position. There would be way less issues, way less issues, way less things to complain about if men actually played their role. But it's like you guys are just stepping back and watching women try to figure it out, and then you're criticizing the women. That's not real men behavior to me. A man should be out there more than a woman. However, I will continue to pray for you, man. I will continue to pray for you, men, because you need a lot of prayer. You need strength. You need to build up your strength instead of complaining. You need to build up your strength instead of being weak. You need to build up your strength. You need to build that up before you try to correct the woman. Build up yourself before you try to correct the woman. Build up yourself. Focus on what you need to focus on. Wow. So like I said, focus on solutions rather than focus on problems. Yes, you have to address the problems, but you have to address the problems with solutions rather than complaining. There's so much complaining from Black men. It's just disgusting to watch. It makes me sick to watch these men be so weak, to be so docile, to be just ugh, just ugh. I just don't like it. It's so amazing to me because my family, my father and my uncles, like I said, we come from a third world country, and being that my father and my uncles came from a part of the island that wasn't really, it didn't have any roads. Now in 2021, 2020, 2019, all of my uncles have been putting money together to build roads in the community where they grew up in, when they were kids. My uncles and my fathers are putting money together to build roads and build houses in another country. Instead of them saying, oh, the reason why there's no roads in this community is because the women, they're not feminine. The women, they don't cook, they don't clean. These women, they don't do anything. That's why they don't have roads. No. My father and my uncles saw that there was a need and they provided. That's what a real man does. They saw a need and they provided. Some of you men will never understand what that feels like because you will always live in victimhood. You will always live in victimhood. So I'm just glad that I came from the lineage that I came from, because there is no weakness in my body. There's no weakness in my body. There's no weakness in my father. There's no weakness in my uncles. These are strong men. Never relied on no government assistance because my family, like I said, came from a third world country. They came from Haiti. There was never no government assistance. We had no choice but to depend on our neighbors and depend on our community in order to make sure that everybody was fed. These are the type of conditions that we lived in. That's why when I say the issues of the Black American men, that the gripe that they have against Black women, it's so minuscule. It's so small. You'll never understand what it's like to actually suffer. The real people that are suffering are actually doing things for themselves. People here living in AC have running water. They have jobs that pay you enough to pay your bills and to provide for a family. You still refuse to go do the right thing. You still refuse. And then you sit around and turn around and blame it on the men. And it's so bad that there's some Black women as well who get brainwashed and they feel as though they need to side with a man. They're Black men, they're male identified. They are male identified and they're getting nowhere. They're getting absolutely nowhere. There's more male identified women in this space, more than femininity, more than femininity coaches. Have you noticed that? And the male identified women, they are single as well. They are single. They are single as well. They think that siding with a man is going to get them closer to a ring. No. They think that co-signing on everything strange men are saying online, mind you, they don't even know these guys. They don't even know these guys. They don't know these guys' intentions. They don't know these guys from a can of paint. However, they sit there and they side with everything a man has to say. You will get nowhere with that logic. Nowhere. You have to be an actual woman and stand for your own rights. Stand for what you believe in. If you believe in family, if you believe in marriage, you need to stand for that instead of continuously attacking Black women. It's not women's fault that they're not married. These men are not proposing. They want everything for free because they don't know what a real man looks like. They don't know that a real man has to actually pay. A real man has to provide. Has to. So I'm gonna leave the video at that. I did have someone give me a call a few minutes ago. I'm gonna go ahead and return their call. Hopefully they're still up. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for bed. It is 2 a.m. here in Florida, and I had a long day at work. So I'm gonna go ahead and just relax for the rest of the day. I just pray that, these guys just, find some guidance, find some healing so that they can do what a man is supposed to do. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.